Please subscribe. For quite a while, figuring out how to ride a bike, dependably, implied you would take a motorcycle safety foundation course where you rode some horrible little removal cruiser around a parking garage. At that point you went to get your permit, and on the off chance that you were a sensible individual with a notion of self-conservation, you proceeded to purchase a somewhat less awful little relocation bike that didn't look cool or convey on the guarantee of motorcycling. Presently we live in 2020, and in spite of the world unbiasedly self-destructing around us, at any rate one thing is showing signs of improvement: little removal cruisers. KTM makes the RC390 and the 390 Duke, Kawasaki offers the Ninja 400 and the Z400, and Honda has the new, cool Rebels and its CB and CBR300s. Yamaha has offered the R3 for a very long time. It despite everything stands apart as a stellar fledgling bicycle for somebody intrigued by a game bicycle style bike. It's essentially Goldilocks on two wheels, yet imagine a scenario where the completely faired and inclined forward look isn't your thing. Dread not, on the grounds that Yamaha has at long last chosen to bring its Mount 03 to the US in the wake of offering it another worldwide market since 2016, and to be honest, it's one of the most convincing bicycles in the section. What makes the Mount 03 so interesting? To begin, it takes the fantastic bones of the R3, including its 321cc equal twin motor, the very much made and pleasantly completed steel outline, and transforms it into a progressively upstanding and agreeable cruiser, and the final product is far more fun than a $4,500 bike ought to be. The Mount 03's two-chamber isn't actually a neck snapper, however nothing in this class truly is. It gives something like 41 drive with an incredibly smooth conveyance. The filling is fantastic, with direct reaction because of a dependable linked throttle, and the motor doesn't offer much in the method for vibration, even as you close to its near on 12,000 revolutions per minute redline. Torque is absolutely satisfactory, enough that my partner had the option to easily lift the front wheel like an evildoer during the ride, and it's likewise conveyed easily and without large pinnacles. The way that this motor offers its exhibition is incredibly well disposed for novices, yet it despite everything offers enough excites to make an accomplished rider smile. The Mount 03 6-speed transmission is incredible and very simple and fulfilling to utilize. I never had an issue discovering impartial, either, something that even considerably more costly bicycles have issues with. The link-activated wet grip is typically light and simple to balance and shouldn't give most riders, even novices, much difficulty. The suspension arrangement on the Mount 03 is entirely upscale for the class. The front gets 37mm modified forks, most in the class have straight-up forks, however these are a little advanced down from those found on the more track-arranged R3, which has likewise topsy-turvy units, but bigger ones. The back monoshock isn't extravagant, with preload alteration as it were. In any case, it's sensibly skilled, and on the grounds that it's indistinguishable from the one found on the R3, there's no deficiency of resellers' exchange alternatives to tidy it up or supplant it altogether. The brakes on the Mount 03 are another high point. The single front rotor is a 298mm undertaking, and keeping in mind that accomplished riders used to greater bicycles may laugh at the marginally soft switch and delicate increase in brake power, the arrangement is ideal for another person to bikes. I'm outside the expected size/weight territory for the Mount 03, however I never end up coming up short on brake, even in hard stops. The best piece of the stopping mechanism, and undoubtedly one of the most critical selling focuses for the Mount 03, is the way that electronically monitored slowing mechanisms are standard gear. In my ongoing Harley-Davidson Softail Standard Survey, I condemned Harley for offering ABS as an alternative on a $13,500 cruiser, and Harley is not really the main maker to go down that street. We at Roadshow are advocates of the possibility that security ought to be for everybody, at each spending limit, so observing Yamaha incorporate such a game-changing well-being highlight on a moderate bicycle focused at new and unpracticed riders is unfathomably invigorating. How about we trust the remainder of the business sticks to this same pattern? With regards to gadgets, ABS is essentially it, however that is fine at this force level and value point. Including an electronic throttle, ride modes or footing control would add critical expense to the bicycle, and with just 41 strength, it's simply not so enormous of a penance. The Mount 03's advanced scramble looks truly essential, however it gives all the data I'd hope to see on an increasingly costly bike. You get your torque and speedo, obviously, however you additionally get an apparatus position marker and a fuel check, however the last could utilize more granularity than its 4 bars offer. The screen is sufficiently large to peruse easily initially, yet it can get somewhat extreme in direct sun. From an ergonomic point of view, the Mount 03 is a major success, in case you're not 6'4". A low seat stature of 30.7 inches implies that considerably littler riders ought to have the option to put a foot level on the ground at a stop, a genuine certainty developer, particularly with new riders. The bicycle's 373-pound wet weight is likewise an or more for new riders, since it makes the bicycle less overwhelming to move around at low speeds and simpler to get when it unavoidably gets dropped. The rider position is upstanding, with a customary style handlebar rather than the R3's low-mounted claspons. The span to the bars isn't far either, so once more, littler riders ought to have no issues. The one territory that I thought was not exactly perfect was in the structure of the tank spread and how it impacts rider legroom. The pegs are sensibly high, and on the grounds that the top piece of the tank spread flares out to the side, which looks cool. As a matter of fact, it implies that riders who are longer of leg will discover their knees getting stuck into said flares. It was such an issue for me, that it made moving to some degree awkward, yet this isn't something that will influence most of riders. Other Mount 03 features incorporate a 3.7-gallon fuel tank, which makes for a truly better than average cruising range in the area of 200 miles. Hope to skip a lot of corner stores, even on longer rides. Driven lighting is a decent touch, and keeping in mind that it might wind up being somewhat disputable, I like the Bug Meets Gundam plan of the front end. Likewise, the Ice Fluo paint plot with its matte dim on neon orange stylish. As far as quality, the Mount 03 rides like a significantly more costly cruiser than it is. Nothing feels modest, everything appears to be all around screwed together, something that we'd expect for a bicycle from one of the huge four Japanese makers. The bicycle's lightweight makes it cleverly tossable and ready to plunge into a corner, helped by its sport bike-like 17-inch wheels. To some degree, typically, the stock inclination employee tires are somewhat of a frustration. They're not terrible, as such, however unmistakably Yamaha needed to spare some money someplace, and this was a sensible enough spot to do it. I'd anticipate that the character of the bicycle should improve altogether with a swap to some stickier and perhaps spiral elastic. The motor's inside counterbalancer and 180-degree terminating request imply that the Mount 03 won't rebuff you with humming hands and feet or a paralyzed groin type region on long road rides, something that numerous other little uprooting bicycles battle to offer. This reality alone adds fundamentally to the utility of the Mount 03 and makes it a genuine drive-proficient machine. At long last, would I get one? On the off chance that I were a few inches shorter, at that point the appropriate response is yes. Yamaha's most up-to-date participant into the exposed bicycle classification is one serious acceptable cruiser and a smokin' bargain. It offers a great deal and solicits next to no from its proprietor, and I imagine that another rider's choice on which bicycle to purchase, in the event that they need to go new, that is. The Mount 03 is now accessible in vendors all through the US, and Yamaha even has it on its demo trucks for people to attempt. Be that as it may, with the appearance of coronavirus and all the ensuing terminations, retractions and rescheduling, it may be somewhat hard to toss your leg more than one preceding you purchase.